Hey everyone, Mr. Wineland here with part two with section one notes. We're going into life in the Republic. So we talked about the early stages of the Roman Empire and or how Rome came, early Rome, how that came to be, and then how it formed into a republic after its leaders and kings. And now we're going to get into the republic itself. So during these days, you're seeing a little bit more of a thriving, vibrant city. You're seeing that the Forum is having success in the public square. It's causing a lot of opportunity for people. Temples are constructed, buildings are constructed. They're all kind of gathering everybody together. We see that the location was nestled between Palatine and Capitoline. Palatine, and where the wealthy lived, and the Capitoline is where the grandest temples were. And this kind of maybe where you get the Romeo Juliet story. Ooh, because the two sides against each other in some ways. We do see the city leaders often found in the forum, mingling about the commonplace. The Senate met in the forum to discuss issues and address the public. We do see a busy place, a place for shopping, place for gossip. Hey, let's go shopping, gossip time. Busy shops lined either side of the forum, public celebrations usually held up there. Agrarian roots. We do see that that during this time, despite the nature of the city, Romans were prideful of themselves, the connection to the soils. The farmland is a big part of their way of life and their connection. Farming, land ownership, the noblest ways to make money. Senators forbidden to participate in any other career if they did not own or engage in commerce or land. Sorry. Uh, did not involve land or and commerce both as well. So Roman was retied to the legend of the Republic. Romans turned to the greatest general, Cincinnatus, who helped save them from an invasion. He was a really great military leader, and the story is that Cincinnatus is out on his farm and he's just enjoying the retiring life, being a farmer. And then Rome's under attack by these invaders, and like, hey, Cincinnatus, we need your help, and we need you to lead this army. And so Cincinnatus is like, fine, I'll do that. So ultimately, he comes back, and the people make him dictator, give him a new office as dictator, which gave him unlimited power, but only held it for only 6 months. Once he defeated the enemies, he returned back to his farm, had no interest retaining his power. It's kind of almost like George Washington. Like, George Washington came in, became the first president of the United States, and was successful those first 2 terms. But after those 2 terms, he was exhausted. He's like, dude, I just want to go back to Virginia and just retire on my farm. So that's kind of what Cincinnatus did as well. You can see, or George Washington pulled a Cincinnatus. Ha ha. Anyway, we do see some growth happening in Rome's government. We do see that it did change. Population continued to grow. Rome needed a little bit more land expansion. So what do? Instead of buying land, hey, we're not going to buy that land. We're just going to conquer people. We're just going to go, hey, we're going to take your stuff and then settle in. So that's kind of what they did. All right, we do see that the military might successful expansion without powerful army. All Roman men about ages 17 to 46, minimum amount of property required to serve at this time. We do see that the Roman army organized into 2 units called legions, the backbone of the centurions, their soldiers, or the commissioned officers, each commanded 100 men. Army was highly disciplined, well-trained force, could fight in all types of terrain. We do see that the conquest of Italy. We do see that in 265 BC, Romans defeated the Etruscans, and then the Greek cities in southern Italy. So let's go back to our top map here. So we see that the Romans would ultimately conquer the Etruscans and then take all of Italy. And we will talk about the Carthaginians who were in Africa, and that would create the Punic Wars. So we do see that they would also go and conquer, and 2 conditions on the subject of people. Subjects had to provide troops for the Roman army, abandon any dealings with foreign nations. Others Other than those conditions, Romans rarely interfered with domestic affairs that the people they conquered. In Sicily, once in control of Rome, Rome turned attention to the island of Sicily, south of the Italian peninsula. And in Sicily, the Romans came into conflict with Carthage, a powerful northern African trading city. And then that conflict led into the Punic Wars, which went on about 80 years. And so this, between Carthage and Rome, this broke out in 264 BC. The first Punic Wars was fought mostly at sea. Carthage was very powerful at that time with their navy. And soon after that, the Romans built a navy of their own and were able to defeat Carthage. Definition for Hannibal. He was a very violent general. Once things broke out, he was definitely one that was going to try and punish the Romans. In 218 BC, the Carthaginian general Hannibal led an army across the Pyrenees, the Alps, to invade Italy, and Hannibal ravaged the Italians and defeated every army that he faced. So the Romans had to come up with a new strategy. And so the Romans decided to take on the war to Africa this time. Publius Cornelius Sisypo sailed to Africa, besieged Carthage, and forced Hannibal to sail home. Sisypo defeated Hannibal and took Carthage in the second Punic Wars, but it wasn't over then. There's Hannibal for Carthage, which is right here. And they also own this much part of North Africa and even into Spain. And then you have the Romans here as well. Cispio right here. We do see that basically after the Second Punic Wars, Rome was like, we ain't done, son. So they were basically like, we want to end Carthage now and forever. We don't want any more wars, nothing. So in 149 BC, they went out in hopes to destroy their enemy. So they declare war on Carthage for the third time, mostly for revenge. And after the siege for 3 years, Carthage fell, and Romans enslaved their entire population, completely destroyed their cities, and banned the people from ever living there, and ultimately winning the Punic Wars. So the Punic Wars raged in the Western Republic. Rome involved in politics in the Eastern Mediterranean Sea. We do see Hellenistic kingdoms of Macedonia, Persia, Egypt fought constantly, and Greek city-states feared being conquered, so they ultimately built an alliance with the Romans, and Romans are building their empire. Romans, Greek allies fought and defeated Macedonia, Persia, and we see both became Roman provinces. Eventually, the Romans annexed Greece as a province as well, primarily because there was some similar culture, and also, the Romans really like Greek culture, and they really like the people, and the Greeks were like, hey, we don't want to lose to you guys, so you're just gonna have the land, so the Romans adopted many elements of the Greek culture. We're going to talk later on that near the end of the chapter. Romans also borrowed ideas of the religion from the Greeks. A lot of their gods, they just kind of renamed them, give them some new names. Mostly a lot of the names from our planets like Jupiter, Saturn, those were given to the Greek gods. Not all Romans were happy with growing Greek influence, though, because they wanted to be more pure Greek, because they did have their own culture, but we do see that they like a lot of the Greek culture and they adopt it and kind of make it their own. So, and that's going to continue for many years. All right, that does it for section 1. Part 2 is over. Section 2. See you then.